So today I am celebrating the 1 year anniversary of hiking or starting the Pacific Crest Trail. I'm celebrating it 8 days late because I wanted to rehike the first day of my PCT journey on the exact day on the anniversary, but there were some food poisoning issues and there were some car issues, so I'm doing it a week later. I'm currently near the border. Let me flip the phone around. This is the monument up here with this mass of people. I don't want to be up there in that mass of people. But that's the monument. So I'm going to be starting here. And then this is the border. You can see the border fence right there. 50 people are permitted to start from the southern terminus each day, and I think they are all here now. So I'm going to start just off the southern terminus, maybe skip the terminus picture for today, and start down the Pacific Crest Trail, which goes this way. Alright, first PCT marker, and it's just off of the monument and the wall right there. So 20 miles to go today. I'm going to be hiking to Lake Marina. So I'm not really that far off the monument at the moment. This is the trail right here, just across this road, but this is the road you come in on. So the very first part of this trail is basically paralleling and crossing the road you came in on. That is a border control agent. This area is very highly patrolled. They got cars, they got ATVs, and it's constantly seeing them go by. Break out the champagne. I have hit the mile 1 marker. I'm pretty sure, there's the road right there. I'm pretty sure this is the only standalone mile marker on the trail. Most of the mile signs are usually trailhead signs or trail navigation signs. I think this is the only one that's specifically a mile marker. But 1 down, 19 to go. And if I was through hiking, it would be 1 down, 2,649 to go. So this part threw me for a bit of a loop last year when I hiked this trail for the first time. Not only are you hiking directly next to the road you came in on for the first section of this trail, but it actually spills out and joins the road for, I think, a quarter of a mile. So I was all super psyched to be hiking the wilderness. Set off, I'm like, I'm going into the wilderness, and no, it takes a little bit for you to actually go into the wilderness. I think maybe once it leaves the road, it starts to go in a little bit, but this first section is literally what you drove in on, either on the road itself, which is what it's going to do now, or right next to the road. So be patient. Leaving the last main paved road, until Lake Marina, which is 17.2 miles away. And I think this is where it starts to get really interesting, really pretty, and also starts to climb up in elevation a bit. Only a couple miles in, and I have my first railroad crossing of the trail with a classily shot up railroad crossing sign. PCT crosses or goes by tons of railroads. This is just the first one. So no train coming that way. No train coming this way. And cross. So I'm admittedly enjoying this section a lot more than I did last year. It's much prettier than I remember, even though there's less wildflowers. Last year we had huge rainstorms, and it resulted in a nice bloom in the desert, which we didn't have this year. But last year I was just so determined about where I was going to be at the end of the day and how quickly I was going to get there that I didn't really, look around that much. So Yeah, this trail's this section's a lot prettier than I remembered. I guess I just didn't learn how to hike at that point, and I was concentrating on the miles and the destination and not just walking and enjoying it. So glad I'm doing this section again, because I'm very content right now. It's very pretty. So this is just a little bit of what I've been walking through. It's desert and it's boulders, and you get some flowers every once in a while. Haven't had too many vistas yet. I had one kind of overlooking the railroad tracks, which isn't that nice of a vista, but I know in this first section there's a climb and a good vista. But in the meantime, temperature's nice and cool. Going through some very gorgeous desert, and occasionally you'll get some wildflowers. Very occasionally. I'm about 6 miles in. This is the trail right here. You can probably hear from my breath. We're going up. And it's starting to get some nice vistas. Getting away from the roads and the power lines a little bit, and getting some nice views. Still in a little bit of a developed area, but much more scenic than the beginning of the trail. And we continue going up this way. Got some more views. This is what the PCT is known for. It's views. Do a partial panorama here. Kind of at the top of a big hill. And this is the trail. And these are the views. I'm a little over 10 miles in right now, which is halfway to Lake Marina, which is about 20 miles. Last year there was somebody who wrote a little marker in stone at 10 miles. You usually find those markers at about every 100 miles, but somebody decided to make one at 10. It must have gotten washed away, and then nobody else made it. Still very beautiful. This is the view from about 10 miles. So still a gorgeous view. And feeling pretty good. But if I remember correctly, it's the second 10 miles of the day, most specifically the last 5, that are the killer. So I'm just taking it easy. I've got plenty of time today, and just enjoying the hike. Enjoying the first 20 miles of the PCT. This here is Hauser Canyon. So Hauser Canyon is the first big obstacle that you come across going northbound on the PCT. So once you get to the bottom here, which I still have a ways to go to get to the bottom, it's about 15 miles from the border, which means only 15 miles to Lake Morena. Unfortunately, those 15 miles go up and up and up and up and up. They're very exposed, and it's usually late in the day by the time people get here. So today it's not going to be such a problem because the temperature is fairly cool for here. But on really, really hot days, good thing to do is just camp at the bottom. Some years there's water flowing. I checked the water report, and you can get water down there. It's just a little difficult to find. Last year there was a full creek flowing through there. So most of the people I finished the PCT with stayed there the first day. They didn't go all the way to Lake Marina. They just did the 15 miles to Hauser and then waited till it was cooler, which is really smart to do this awful climb out of Hauser Canyon. But I've got a little ways to get to the bottom, and then I'll probably take a break, and then I gotta tackle that. Alright, heading down into Hauser Canyon. We've got a nice spray painted sign right there. Nice Pacific Crest Trail sign right here. And then here's the canyon. Here is the trail. As I remember correctly, it's kind of steep, but also, if I remember correctly, it's got some shade too. So while I'm heading down the canyon, I wanted to note something. There was a member of the Forest Service where the trail comes out and you follow a dirt road for a while and then you come down the canyon. Right where the trail came out to the dirt road was someone from the Forest Service, and they were checking permits, which was different than last year, where I'd never got my permit checked around here. There's a lot of people who want to cheat the system because you're only allowed 50 thru-hikers per day to come through this area. So there was a lot of talk about people getting their permits and then just, you know, going on whatever day they wanted. So, I mean, good for them for enforcing it. It's if everyone came through at the optimal time with the amount of people on this trail, that'd be like a couple thousand people in a week. And that many people moving through these single track areas, you know, and then there's not going to be enough campsites, and people are going to create more campsites, and it's just going to kind of destroy the area. So, I mean, it's frustrating when you get dates that are not optimal or don't get dates at all. But I understand why they do it, and they're actually checking them this year. So, interesting to know. So, surprisingly, I am headed out of the canyon right now. I didn't even recognize it. Last year there was a creek going through it. This year there was nothing. So, I'm just starting to head uphill, and I am going to be headed towards this notch, straight up there. So, switchbacks are coming up, but once I get over those, it should be fairly smooth sailing to Lake Marina. Getting closer to the top. Just need to kind of go up that way a bit. There's another hike over there. You can see where we came down the canyon on the other side. There's that road that cuts across, and then come down, and now we're going up. I do have to say though, this climb is much easier without a full pack, and with over 3,000 miles of through trail under my belt. Still get your heart beating though, and I wouldn't want to do this in 100-degree heat. That would not be fun. Almost to the top. Okay, first desert animal. Well, I mean, I've seen plenty of lizards, but this guy is over here. Horned lizard. Right there. No rattlesnakes or anything. But my first horned lizard was in this area as well. He just ran off the path. So no rattlesnakes. I did see a snake. Just the little tail of it as it went into the bush. It had stripes. Wasn't a rattlesnake. Just a lot of side blotch lizards. Probably some fence lizards too. I wasn't really paying attention. But first horned lizard. Just taking a break near the top of the canyon. But have a nice view down the canyon. Looks like you got a body of water down there too. Gorgeous. So, is that still on zoom? There we go. Just have to go up this way. Almost there. But you have such a nice view, might as well stop. Okay, officially exiting the canyon. And still have some up to do. Some nice rock formations there. The canyon was the worst of the climb, but you still have to get over these mountains to get down to Lake Marina. But once Lake Marina is visible, I believe it's all downhill. So a little bit more up to do, but the worst of the up is now literally behind me to Lake Marina. And here it is. We got Lake Morena. There's two bodies of water. I'm not sure if they're connected. got this one over here. We have this one over here. Not sure if they're connected or if they're both the lake. I just know they are cold. It's really cold here at night. But I got a mile to the campground. And we are here. The Lake Marina campground. They have a nice sign for hikers. Welcome to Lake Marina. You made it. Back up. And then it's got instructions for signing in. This is a paid campground, so you gotta actually go to the ranger station and pay for it. But that's the first 20 miles of the Pacific Crest Trail. And so instead of staying here tonight, where it's really cold, I think that lake is a portal to the Arctic or something, I am gonna go home and sleep in my warm bed. So that's better. But that's it for today.